Perfect. Okay, so Nadia here from Addicted magazine with Matty Matheson, famed Vice chef and food traveler. Hi, Matty. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us. So I guess we'll kind of get started at the beginning. You've got an awesome life doing media stuff around food and cooking and all that. How did you get started in this industry? Were you a trained chef? Is this just something you always loved?
Well, no, I think the TV stuff just happened, kind of organically. I was friends with a bunch of buddies down at Vice. When they started doing food stuff, I started kind of bugging them. And then we were like, okay, let's work on some stuff. And then we figured out some shit. And then we started making some videos.
So this all started initially online, right? This was all through the Vice online, kind of...
Yeah, Munchies. It all lived, on Munchies.
Right. So considering that, what kind of spurred you guys now to move this over to Viceland?
It's been such a huge success that they needed to get it on the TV.
They needed to get it on the TV so everybody could watch and drool all over the food that you guys eat and make and discover.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's, Vice puts things on a lot of content on the internet, and I was very lucky in the sense that it kind of hit, and then when Viceland came around, they're like, want to make a new show for Viceland, and I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And hell yeah, now I got a TV show that's going to air on Thursday.
It's pretty sweet. So the show is called Dead Set on Life. Tell me what inspired it.
I think just a lot of people, aren't living their lives to the fullest. And I think that I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life, and I'm kind of living a no bullshit life now. And I want to travel and meet people that are exciting and interesting and passionate about what they do. And, I'm just in a position where I can do that. So it's really cool. And then we were coming up with the ideas of the name, and the Dead Set on Life was something that was kind of circulated around my heart attack that I had 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And and then we were just like, one of my buddies was like, I guess you're dead set on living now. And then we were like, yeah. And then...
and here we are.
And then we were trying to figure out names for the show.
Yeah.
I didn't want a typical, food, Matty travels, Matty eats, or, some stupid, food networky type name of a show or something. So I was just like, why don't we just call it Dead Set on Life? With Matty Matheson. Why does the name of a show have to be this way? Or why does it, you should be able to call it anything. I think it's a suiting name and something that has a story and something that I can back 100%. So.
Oh, for sure. And actually, that was going to be the next question that I asked you, is what makes, this different than the many traveling cooking shows that there are out there. And definitely a great start, clearly, is the name. It's different. It's a head scratcher, and then when you hear the story, it makes so much sense. So is this whole, people not living life to the fullest and you wanting to inspire that, is that what made you kidnap your mentor to join you on these adventures?
Yeah.
Was he not living his life to the fullest?
No, Rang's living his life. He's the best.
He seems really rad.
Yeah, I think it's just and that's another thing that I think makes the show great is Rang is kind of this a pokeroo type guy who kind of pops in and out of my show.
Yeah.
And I think it just gives it that perfect, humility. Why a guy if somebody turned it on, it's why is this millennial hanging out with some kind of older Vietnamese guy?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very weird pairing. And I think because we're such old and good friends that it just works really well. And I think it's that in itself is gold. So it's like, I think it's going to be one for the books.
Oh, for sure. Like one of the first things that I really enjoyed about the first episode that I watched is your dynamic. He's such a great foil to your humor. And, you know, at some points he just drops these awesome one-liners that you were just like, what? Like Poker Who is a good way. Like he pops in and out and just says these ridiculous things. And you guys have clearly, you know, such a good friendship and an interesting chemistry. So it makes for a really, really good pairing for sure. I mean, I wouldn't call it weird. I'd call it awesome. Tell me about your friendship. Tell me about how you guys came to know each other. Again, like you clearly come from very different backgrounds and very different walks of life. Was food the thing that brought you together?
Yeah. He was he was my chef.
Yeah.
At a restaurant I worked at. You know, he was my mentor, I guess, for a few years. And we worked together at Le Select, and you know, we hung out a lot. We cooked a lot together. He taught me a lot of amazing things. We just, you know, we were just cooking together every day for, 4 years.
So then, and I love also, you know, your Ontario road trip that you took with him. Was it something that you've always wanted to do to kind of show him where you came from and, you know, your food background and your history, especially considering, you know, that he came from somewhere so different than where we are here?
Yeah, I think, I think it's just a cool thing for, it's always nice to show people where you come from, you know? Like,
yeah.
Fort Erie isn't the most luxurious town or the most beautiful or the most, booming town, but it's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm still proud of Fort Erie. I love it. And I think showing someone that you respect where you're coming from is a fun and cool thing to do.
Oh, it most definitely is. And I think that that's a really, really cool way of putting it, too. It's almost like when you're a little kid and, you know, you bring a friend over to your parents' house for the first time and you're all excited to show them all, you know, your toys and all that and, you know, eat the awesome food that you're used to eating and just really sharing that experience of what makes you who you are with a person that you've come to care about and respect.
No, 100%, man. It's just like you're just let the pride shine.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, you guys are going on this adventure. Where is Dead Set on Life going to take you? What can viewers and fans of yours look forward to on this crazy series of adventures?
We go to Fort Erie and Toronto in the first episode, and we kind of do like Western Ontario. We do like Norfolk County, barbecue at my parents' house. We go to we go to Brookfield, Nova Scotia, Cape Breton. We go to Winnipeg. We go to Long Plain, First Nations. We go to Newfoundland. We go to, where else do we go?
It's a lot of places.
We go to Alberta, Saskatchewan, then that's it. So it's 8 episodes.
Yep.
So we go to eight magical places in Canada.
Are there plans and hopes for more episodes and covering more of this big country that we live in?
Yeah, I'm almost done shooting the second season already.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. We're doing really big things over here.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to stay within Canada, or are there plans to escape the borders and head elsewhere?
We go elsewhere.
Ooh. So, you know, you're doing a lot of awesome eating, you're doing some cooking. What would you say so far, if you can pick, you know, a moment of whether it was something super cool, super weird, just something you never maybe thought you'd ever eat or make or anything like that? Has there been kind of one of those moments so far? Or several?
Well, I think having, when we were in Newfoundland, I think is an amazing example of like what the show, you know, kind of can be, is when we bring in the last episode, we bring Rang to Newfoundland, and we visit his foster family from 25 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so we go have a jig dinner, which is like kind of like pot roast dinner kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, like those kind of moments are amazing. amazing to be a fly on the wall and kind of participate in and see, you know, this family that took him in and took care of him and kind of shaped him into the man he is today a little bit, you know, to see that. And then we get to go moose hunting, and which was amazing. And we got to cook a lot of moose after we caught a moose. And, you know, like that was a really amazing thing, you know. Field dressing a moose out in the middle of central Newfoundland. And, doing all that kind of stuff is once in a lifetime opportunity, like experience and opportunity to really do that. It's really cool for somebody from the city like me. Like, you know, like I didn't grow up hunting, so it's like that kind of stuff is pretty awesome.
And I think that's a really wonderful way to bookend things. You know, you kind of start by showing him your history and your upbringing, and then you wrap up by going to, you know, a place that really shaped him, and then you had these really kind of raw, super masculine, from what it sounds like, experiences of hunting moose and dressing them in the woods and all that. That's really, really cool. Is there a place that you're hoping to get to visit that maybe you haven't? Like, is there a wish list item that you want to get done while you're doing the show?
Well, I think what's really cool is when you meet these people, when you meet these people, and you, like, we did a whole episode on, like, Filipinos in Winnipeg. And I'm like, I want to go to the Philippines. You know, like, we're just seeing these, like, little flashes. And, like, it's only a half an hour show, so it's like, you know, like, we do have to fit in so much stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, we put a lot on the, like, you know, the editor's floor.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of stuff gets edited out, and it's just like, you know, I want to go, you know, going to Newfoundland makes me want to go fly fishing in Labrador. Mm-hmm. Going to Winnipeg and hanging out with Filipinos wants me to go to the Philippines.
Yeah.
I would love to, you know, I'd love to go to Patagonia. I'd love to go to Iceland. I'd love to go, you know, like, we can go anywhere now.
You can.
And yeah, which is amazing. But I think we're going to still try to do every season, do 1 or 2 or 3 Canadian episodes as well.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's amazing because there's not as much of that content that exists out there. I mean, like, the world has followed the Anthony Bourdains around, and, you know, they've gone all these places, and it's really interesting to turn the camera inwards like you're doing and remind people that, yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing that's going to set us apart from day one is I have a show that's in, like, you know, it airs in America on Thursday, and my entire show is based in Canada. Like, that in itself is amazing. You know, like, I have a show that's fresh and amazing because they've never even fucking seen it.
No.
Like, how many Americans have come to Canada, you know, like, and it's going to be so funny. It's like the Bizarro world for them, you know?
Yep, for sure.
And I think that's going to be, I'm really excited to see how that takes and, like, see the American press and see, like, everything that kind of comes from that is kind of a exciting thing to happen, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, for sure. And you make a really good point because, you know, you still hear the American jokes of people not even knowing where Canada is really, and they think that, you know, we live in igloos or whatever. Hopefully now that people have the internet, that's kind of sorted out a little bit better, but you are giving people a perspective into a world that, you know, just by way of how much they're saturated by their own media that they may never get a chance to even know about. So you're definitely putting some eyes on Canada that wouldn't have been on there before, which is really, really cool. So I guess I'll wrap up by asking, our magazine's called Addicted because, you know, we like to focus on the idea that, you know, people can overcome addiction. My business partner and the founder, this is kind of his coming out the other side and doing something really, really great after dealing with a very intense addiction. So we always like to kind of focus on how addictions can be positive and you can be, you know, driven by something that you love so deeply and so much and, you know, like yourself, be driven to accomplish these incredible, amazing things. So I'm going to ask you then, what would you say if you could pick a positive addiction that makes you do awesome stuff? What would that be?
Addicted, I guess, to being successful and, like, in a way that isn't driven by, you know, like, what is success? Like, waking up every day and trying to do the best that you can do, making the day worthwhile. and
That's awesome.
caring about people and making, you know, making my wife happy, making my child happy, making myself happy, making other people around me happy, you know, participating in life, participating in the world, and trying to make it a, you know, a happier, like, you know, I make people laugh. You know, like my show makes people laugh.
Mm-hmm.
My internet shit makes people laugh. And they learn how to cook. And that's two really amazing things. I am really stoked on, like, you know, the responses. Like, if you go on YouTube and you see, like, the comments on my shit,
mm-hmm.
all positive.
Yeah.
It's 99% positive, which is unheard of in a world full of trolls.
Oh,
and,
for
like,
sure.
Internet people and all this shit. And it's like, because I'm just trying to be happy, man. I'm making food and I'm being funny and a little, you know, a little naive, a little ignorant at times. But you know, I think the best success is to wake up, and if you live every day the best that you can, and by, you know, a little piece of it is for you, a little piece of it is for other people, and
mm-hmm.
you're going to be able to sleep at night.
I think that that's a really awesome addiction. You are doing amazing things. You're living the dream, and I'm so excited to see where Dead Set on Life takes you, even though it's going to make me gain 1 million pounds because I want to eat everything that you're eating. Thank you very much for taking...
Good.
Yeah, for sure, right? It wouldn't be a bad life.
Eating's good. Being healthy is good.
Eating is wonderful, and I greatly enjoy it. And thank you very much for creating amazing content around such a simple but life-affirming concept. You are very rad, and I'm very glad to have talked to you today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.